there guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Now, we're a few games into the Championship season and there's just a couple of indicators about how this season's going to go. There's some teams near the top which you didn't expect, some teams near the bottom which you didn't expect. So what I thought would be fun for a couple of videos is predicting what I think my top 6 will be based on what we've seen so far this season. And in a separate video, we're also going to predict what my bottom 3 will be for this Championship season. Let me know down below guys as we go through this video who are your top 6 for the Championship based on what you've seen so far. And if you're new to the channel guys, make sure to drop this video a like. Let's get 100 likes, subscribe to the channel, and let's do this. So then we're going to work our way from the top downwards and be picking which 6 teams I think will be up there come the end of the season. So at the top we have Fulham Football Club. No surprises, they're up there. Obviously they came down from the Premier League in 18th place, so statistically finished the highest in the football pyramid out of these 24 teams last season. And with Fulham it's not very tricky, is it? I did predict them to be in the playoffs this season, but having seen what I've seen in the opening couple of games, I think they're more likely going to get the automatics in the playoffs. They just look very good. Harry Wilson's proving to be quite a decent signing. And yeah, Marco Silva's picked up some really good results. 4 wins and a draw already. And yeah, you could say that draw against Middlesbrough on the opening day, they just hadn't really clicked and gelled together at that point. So I think Fulham are going to walk away with it and they're going to be in the automatics this year. So Fulham, for me, are going to be in the top 6. The next club then is West Bromwich Albion. And once again, I'm also going to put them in the top 6. And I think they'll probably be in the automatics as well. I think it's going to be a bit boring for Championship neutrals if Fulham and West Brom walk away with the league this year because, yeah, you don't really get much of a race if that happens. Obviously, for their fans, it'd be the best case scenario that they go back up automatically, but you can really see a gulfing class between the likes of Fulham and West Brom coming down to the rest of the Championship teams. Even these teams in the playoffs can't quite keep on a level with Fulham and West Brom, and that's why I think these two will walk away with the automatics. It's been a decent start for West Brom. The only points they dropped were away to Bournemouth on the opening day in a 2-2 draw where, yeah, they could have won that game as well, but yeah, they've looked very good, scoring goals for fun, and yeah, I just don't think they're going to be stopped either this season. Now, the next club is Queen's Park Rangers, and I did predict them to finish in the top 6 this season, so for me, it's no surprises to see them 3rd. I know a few people said they're going to be dark horses, but I don't think you can call them dark horses anymore. They're just up there, and I think we're used to it now because obviously they ended the season last year really well, and they've made some great signings this transfer window with the likes of Charlie Austin, Johansson, McCallum, and they've just got some very good players, Dykes and Chair. So I can't see how QPR aren't going to make the top 6. I think they could be one of the best threats to challenge Fulham and West Brom for the automatics, but like I say, I think the quality of those two, they're just going to keep a bit of a gap between them and the rest. So I think QPR will finish in the high end of the playoffs and they're going to make the top 6. Next up, in 4th place, you've got Huddersfield Town, and fair play to them. They are doing very well at this point in time. Obviously, they drew their opening game 1-1 with Derby, and a few people had raised eyebrows thinking, I think Huddersfield should have won that one, but Derby since then have actually proved that they're not going to be rolled by every team this season. They obviously lost 5-1 to Fulham as well, which was a really damning result for Huddersfield, but since then they've turned it around big time. That 1-0 win against Preston was huge for their confidence. They then won at Bramall Lane 2-1 with a 94th minute winner, and then 4-0 against Reading. Huddersfield are in a very good moment and they're on a roll. I think this momentum is key, and if they can keep winning games at this point in the season, then relegation is not going to be a concern and maybe they can look up the table. For me, I just can't see Huddersfield finishing in the top 6. I think they could surprise a few people and finish in the top half, but for the top 6, I don't know. I don't know if Huddersfield have got what it takes over a season. It's a good start though, but they're not going to make the top 6 for me. Next then, you've got Stoke City in 5th place, and it's been a pretty decent start for them. The only game they've lost was that game at the weekend against Fulham, and you can't read too much into that because Fulham are going to beat a lot of teams this season. So other than that, it's been a pretty decent start for Stoke City, and I think Ostergaard is a signing that really caught my eye for them because obviously he played for my team, Coventry, last year. And I just look at their team and it just seems to have come together this year. I know every year some people do predict Stoke to be up there, and to be honest, I was quite harsh at the start of the season. I think I predicted them to be in the bottom half, but I'm going to say over the course of the season, Stoke City will just have enough to stay in that top 6. So Stoke are going to make the playoffs for me. Next then, in 6th place, you'll find AFC Bournemouth, and they've had a decent start, but for me, they've dropped a couple of silly points. They've already drawn 3 games, which I've said before in other videos, when you draw a lot, that can turn into a negative. And I think what could be frustrating for Bournemouth this year is they could be the best threat to challenge Fulham and West Brom for the automatics, but if they drop silly points, they might fall short. But other than that, I can't see too many negatives for Bournemouth, and they're also going to make the top 6 come the end of the season for me. I think the firepower, the squad depth, it's just very strong at Bournemouth, and like I say, although they've drawn a couple of games, I think they're going to win a lot of games and, like I say, score a lot as well, so Bournemouth will be in the top 6 come the end of the season. Next then, you stumble across my team, Coventry City, in 7th place. It's been a pretty decent season so far for us, 3 wins out of 5, and it's nice to be in the top half for once. I think we spent almost all of the season last year in the bottom half, so yeah, encouraging stuff for Coventry City so far. But even if I was to be biased to my own team, I think it's pretty hard to put Coventry City in the top 6 come the end of the season. I'm not ruling it out, Coventry fans. I think there's definitely encouraging signs there, and the chances we're creating, goodness me, if we took our chances, we'd be right in there. But then again, if we had the players to take all these chances, would they play for us? I am leaning towards Coventry City finishing higher than my original prediction, which was 14th. I think we can make the top half of the season. I think one encouraging thing for Coventry City is over the last few seasons, we always end the season better than we start it. So if that's anything to go by, then we could be right up there. And with Mark Robins, I think we've got continuity. We've got players that have been around for a long time, and yeah, I just like the togetherness of this team. I think there's a really good camaraderie amongst Coventry City players, and the fans have obviously come back. They're feeling positive now. So I think it's going to be a positive season for Coventry City, but I'm just not going to put us in the top 6 at this point. We've got 2 home games coming up against Middlesbrough and Cardiff. If we can keep winning those home games and picking up a few points on the road, then Coventry City could be up there. But for now, I'm just not going to put us in the top 6. Next then, you come across Birmingham City in 8th place, and a bit like Coventry and Huddersfield, we were all down there in the relegation scrap last year, and we've both really kicked on at the start of this year. Now, how long can Birmingham City keep it up? I think they could do this over a season. They've brought in some really good players. I've said before, Chonk is quality. They've brought in Troy Deeney now, they've got Djukovic still, so they've got goals in that team, and with Lee Bowyer, they're not going to leak too many either. They've already picked up some great results. That 5-0 win at Luton is a real standout result. I'm going to say they're definitely going to finish above my original prediction, which was in the bottom half. I think Birmingham City definitely make the top half based on what I've seen so far, but I don't know if they're going to make the top 6. I think they could just fall short. I think they could be in the battle, but maybe just come out on the wrong side of it. Next then, in 9th place, you've got Cardiff City, and it's been a mixed start for them. Some really decent results, but then they did lose at home to Bristol City at the weekend just gone, which I thought wasn't a very good result at all. But I think Cardiff City are going to be in the battle, and they always are. They're always flirting with the playoffs, whether they finish inside or outside. I just have a feeling this season with Cardiff City. Mick McCarthy's been there for a little while now. I think they hung on to Kiefer Moore through the transfer window. They've brought in a couple of decent players. I think they could just fall inside the playoffs this year. I'm going to say Cardiff City sneak in the playoffs this year. Like I said, there's plenty of teams battling, and if Cardiff City drop silly points, then the likes of Coventry, Birmingham, and who knows, even Huddersfield could sneak up on them. And there's plenty of teams in the bottom half that will still challenge for the playoffs come the end of the season. But I just think Cardiff City are going to be a team that just sneak in there this year. They've got goals in that team, and Flint, the centre-back's already scored 4 this season. So yeah, just some encouraging signs I've seen from Cardiff so far, and I just think a team that's finished in the playoffs before will know how to get in there again, and yeah, I'm going to say Cardiff City sneak in the playoffs. The final team in the top 10 is Blackburn Rovers, but as you can already see, I've got my top 6 there, so I don't think Blackburn Rovers are going to make it. But there's been some really encouraging signs from the start of their season. They picked up 8 points from the first 5 games, and I've touched on before how Tony Mowbray teams can get off to a decent start to the season, so I think they could be in the battle for the playoffs, but I just don't think they're going to make it this year. So then guys, that wraps up today's video talking about who I think the top 6 are going to be based on what we've seen so far this season. Let me know yours down below in the comments. It's fine to disagree, just let me know down below. Make sure you've hit the like button. Like I say, let's get 100 likes on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.